This video is to review graphing from slope-intercept form, writing an equation in slope-intercept form, and finding the slope of parallel lines. So, given an equation, determine the slope and the y-intercept. Remember, any equation in slope-intercept form is y equals mx plus b. M is your slope, which is going to be in front of the variable, and b is your y-intercept, which is going to be the constant. So number one, we have y equals 2x minus 10. So my slope is 2, and my y-intercept is 0, negative 10. In number two, we have y equals negative 5/7 x plus 1. My slope is the number in front of the x, so negative 5/7. And my y-intercept is 1, so we're going to write it as a coordinate, 0, 1. In number 3, my slope is the number in front of the x, 5, and my y-intercept is the constant, 0, 1/2. So let's use this idea to graph. In number 4, we need to put the equation in function form if necessary and then graph. So remember, if it's in function form, it's y is already solved for, which we have. So we're just going to be able to read our slope and our y-intercept. So our slope is the number in front of the x, 5/3. My y-intercept is 0, negative 4. So when I start my graph, I start on my y-axis. Remember that your y-axis is your vertical axis. So I'm going to start at 0, 4, negative 4. 0, negative 4, I put a dot. Then I use my slope. My first number tells me if I go up or down. Because it's positive, I go up 5 and then right 3. So from my first point, I'm going to go up 5 over 3, place a dot. I'm going to do the same thing one more time. Up 5 over 3, place my second dot, and then I can connect my line. Now, in number 4, it's a little more difficult because y is not by itself. So first we have to solve by dividing everything by negative 4. So my new equation is y equals negative 3x plus 5. So my slope is negative 3, which I'm going to put over 1, so I remember I have to move right. And my y-intercept is 5, so 0, 5. So I'm going to start at 0, 5. I look at my slope, down 3, right 1. So down 3 units, right 1. Down 3 units, right 1. And then I can connect my line. In number 6, again, this is not in function form yet, so I need to divide by the number in front of the y. So I'm going to divide by 6. Y equals 3 over 2x when I reduce. So my slope is 3 over 2. It's the number in front of the x. We don't have any constant over here. Therefore, my y-intercept is just 0, 0. So I'm going to start at the origin, which is 0, 0. I'm going to use my slope, up 3, right 1. So I'm going to go up 3, right 2, up 3, right 2, because my slope is 3 over 2, and then connect my line. In number 7, this is in function form because there's an x on the same side as the y, and there's a number in front of the y. So what we're going to do first is we're going to subtract 11x from both sides. Negative 33y equals negative 11x plus 66. Then we're going to divide everything by negative 33. So my equation is y equals 1/3 x minus 2. So my slope in this case is 1/3, and my y-intercept is 0, negative 2. So on the graph, I'm going to start at negative 2. My slope tells me to go up 1 because it's positive, and right 3. Remember that we always move right. So we're going to go up 1 over 3, up 1 over 3, and then I can connect my line. Number 8, identify the slope and the y-intercept, then write the equation of the line. So in number 8, we are given a table. So we're going to look at how is my y changing. So all of my y's, to get from negative 30 to negative 20, I add 10. From negative 20 to negative 10, I add 10. So my pattern here is I'm always adding 10 to the previous number to get the next number. My x's are changing by positive 2. I'm always adding 2 to get to the next number. So to find my slope, it's the change in y over the change in x. 10 over 2, which equals 5. My y-intercept, when I'm looking for y-intercept, it's the point where there's a 0 for x in my table. So I have 0, negative 20 as my y-intercept. So when I write my equation, we have to have y equals. The slope goes in front of x, so 5x, and then my y-intercept minus 20. Let's look at the same thing in number 9. So in number 9, now we're given a graph. So to find my slope, I know that my line is slanted downward, which means I have a negative slope. So I'm going to count how many spaces do I have to get down to get even with my next point. So I went down 4. And then how many to go over to get to that point? 6. So my slope is negative 4 over 6, negative 2/3. My y-intercept is where I intersect the y-axis. And in this case, I intersect at 4. So my y-intercept is 0, 4. So my equation would be y equals negative 2/3 x plus 4. Determine whether the lines are parallel or intersecting. In this case, you have to find the slopes. So in number 10, my first equation, y equals negative 1/2 x minus 4. My slope is the number in front of x, so it's negative 1/2. My second equation is 5x plus 10y equals 40. So the first thing I have to do is I need to solve for y so I can find my slope. So I'm going to subtract 5x from both sides. 10y equals negative 5x plus 40. And then divide everything by 10. Y equals negative 1/2 x plus 4. So my second slope is also negative 1/2. Because they have the same slope, this means that the lines are parallel. Number 11, we're going to do the same thing. So the first equation is 2x plus y equals 2. So I need to solve for y. So I'm going to subtract 2x from both sides. Y equals negative 2x plus 2. So my slope in this case is the number in front of the x, negative 2. The second equation, negative 8x plus 4y equals negative 12. So I need to solve for y again. So I'm going to add 8x to both sides. 4y equals 8x minus 12. Divide by 4. Y equals 2x minus 3. So here my slope is 2. Because the slopes are not the same number with the same sign, this means that the lines are just intersecting. In number 12, we're going to find if our lines are parallel given a table. So the first thing I need to do in number 12 is I need to find the slope of both tables. So in the first table, my y's are changing by 10, and my x's are changing by 8. So my slope is 10 over 8, which reduces to 5/4. In my second table, y is changing by 5, and x is changing by 4. So my slope is 5/4. Because the slope is the same, this means that the lines are parallel. Number 13, draw a line parallel to the given line through the point negative 4, 1. So I need to first find the slope of my given line. So I'm going to see that it's a negative slope because my line's going down. So I'm going to go down to get even with my next point and then over. So I went down 1, 2, 3, negative 3, and I went over 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So my slope is negative 3 over 7. So I'm going to use that slope in the point negative 4, 1 to make my new line. So what I need to do first is I need to plot my point negative 4, 1. So here's negative 4, 1. From that point, I'm going to use my slope. So I'm going to go down 3 and over 7. Place a dot. Down 3 over 7. And then I can connect my line, and now I know these lines are parallel because they have the same slope.